Welcome to the latest Judgement Eternal Champions video. My name's Andrew Guns Galea, the game's creator, and today I'm revealing the latest hero to hit the Judgement realms, Kedt, the Troll Thrower. Super pumped about Kedt. It's a new race of trolls, which I'll get into a bit in a minute. You can see the studio version right next to me over here of the model. It's a very chunky model. Super pumped about these guys hitting. This is the next 3 months is going to be goblin themed. Of course, next month we're releasing Jarl, a female mage, along with the full rules for the goblin tribe, our latest tribe. But today it's all about Kedt. Now just to start off with the model himself, he's quite chunky. Just next to me here I've got Donregar and Kedt, and you get to see just how chunky he is. We really wanted the trolls to be beefy. They're all going to be, they've got a lot of good themes about them, and Kett's definitely hit the ground running. Now Kedt, I'm going to reveal his rules in a minute. Now Kedt is not going to test realm, he's going straight out into live, so he is tournament legal from today, which means he'll be available for Adepticon, which is great. Now, even though trolls are a new race, they don't count as goblins, they're actually trolls. They're a separate race, but they are going to be part of the goblin tribe. So for things like, Zaffin's level 2, where he picks a race, a tribe, and he's against them, goblins and trolls are separate in that instance. So trolls are separate heroes, but they're just part of the goblins tribe. But they've got a lot of synergies with goblins. So for those of you who are into the lore, there is a lore article in Hall of Eternal Champions where we talk about how the trolls came about. They actually were goblins who branched off from the main goblin tribe, and 1,000 years later came back. This is all in the Underdark. Underneath the Shadow Plane, and came back as trolls. It's a really cool article, so if you're into lore, please check it out on Hall of Eternal Champions in the lore section. What else there to say about trolls? Now, for trolls, for the design theme around trolls, they're going to be more straightforward than a lot of the heroes we've brought out, and they're a lot more straightforward than goblins. Goblins are very often complex heroes, and we do that because when you've got low health heroes, it's a design challenge to make sure they can survive and thrive in the Judgement universe. With trolls, they're beefy. We want them to be more straightforward. And as we design heroes over a period of time, we often try to make sure that we have a good variety in the way how difficult heroes are, how complex they are. Kedt, for example, comes with no additional tokens. He just uses generic tokens and doesn't play that way. And we'll get into his rules now. So just going to his rules card. So there's a couple of things that are very thematic for the trolls. So a lot of the stuff that's on Kedt, and then we've got another troll coming out in 2 months, Dakar, and he has a lot of these similar rules. So I'll go through the ones that are the same for all trolls in their race theme. So his movement 3, agi 3, res 2, and that is a troll trait straight away off the bat. So all trolls will be 3, 3, 2, unless there's things in the future that we want to do something drastically different, but that's not the case. He is a troll thrower, so he's Mel 6 and RNG 7, which is quite standard at this point. His health track is probably a bit beefier than probably between orcs and dwarves, so 16, 18, 20. At res 2, that's a lot of health, but agi 3 it sort of levels out, and his soul harvest is 3, which is quite standard. Now Kedt has 2 weapons. He's got a fist, 1 AP, reach 1, 2, 3, 5, similar to Donregar. If you've got a big beefy model, we do sometimes like to have them critting for 5. And his rock throw is 2 AP, 4 reach, 3, 4, 7. Now this is very, very good. It's 7's the same as Thrommel's crit on his hammer, even though he's 4, 5 for the glance and solid. But Kedt can do this twice because he does have reload rock throw. So if you can stand still with this guy, he can do this twice. It's quite devastating. He can aim at RNG 8. He's got the Heartsick, he can put RNG 9. Models like Ramona and Bastion can beef it up as well. He's similar to Ashel and Zaffin, the 2 AP guys. You want them to be shooting twice every round. And obviously you want to, as an opponent, you want to stop them. So diving, I played a game yesterday against Zaffin. I just pretty much dived him every round I could, which is good. Now, Enmity Elves is another troll trait. So they get +1 dice on basic attacks versus elves. This is not to be underestimated, right? One of the main things about elves is they're agi, and trolls are going to be their menace, which is quite nice. I really like that. He's immune to fear and pin, which is a similar troll, another troll trait. They're very big. They're a little bit straightforward. So we say, so fear is not going to make a difference to them, and they can't be pinned down. He's got reload, rock throw, like I said. Regen 2 is another troll trait, and vulnerability burn is also a troll trait. So most of his stuff, except for the reload, rock throw, is generic troll traits. So they're very good out of the box. Got a couple of good things. The vulnerability burn just plays into the old Dungeons and Dragons theme of trolls with fire and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. He's got Rock Blast, the same combat maneuver that the Terror has today, the Monster Terror and the Summon Terror. The J and an S, he knocks the person down, but adjacent models, friends, allies to that, enemies adjacent to the model you've hit get the same damage, half damage rounded up. So on a 7 damage crit, he's going to do 4 damage to adjacent models, which is really, really nice. Now, he can throw goblins. There are synergies built into trolls and goblins. The trolls race themselves and goblins, one doesn't overlord the other. They've got a very good symbiotic relationship. They've got a lot of mutual respect for each other, goblins and trolls, but there are going to be a lot of synergies between them. The trolls do take it upon themselves to protect their smaller goblins, and the goblins rely on the trolls to make sure they can survive in the treacherous world that is the Judgement Underdark in the Shadow Plane. So he can throw a goblin the same way he can throw a rock. This is just 1 AP, so you could throw your rock and then throw an adjacent goblin, which is quite nice. But the trick is, if you roll a J, you have to roll the dice when you throw the goblin on J, then knock down. This is huge first round synergies. With a model like Jaeger, he can throw Jaeger at the start of the game, 4 hexes up. If Jaeger doesn't get knocked down, he's pretty much in a position to steal any monster your opponent's trying to get. Great synergy, bit of risk, huge reward. And in general play, he can throw a goblin out of trouble. It's a place, so that if they're surrounded by enemies, he can throw them away. He can throw a grail towards its skull. There's a whole bunch of things he can do with this throwing goblin. So throw Bale into range of someone to charge them. It's an out of place movement with a little bit of you can throw them back out of trouble as well. But yeah, if you roll a J, they get knocked down. So this is a great ability. Now, powerful throw. This is a huge thing for Kedt. Now, I've mentioned before he's reach 4, but he can pay a fate to get reach 5 for that activation. This is huge, right? It's fate intensive, but being able to throw that massive rock 5 reach is not to be underestimated. It can catch people out. It really makes his ability to throw it twice a lot better than it would normally do. So that's his level 1. Pretty much as he says on the tin is how he plays. Pretty straightforward. It's always the key for new players is getting the most out of the 2 AP. You're going to have games where Kedt, just like Ashur, just like Zafin, is hugely underwhelming, but there'll be a lot of games where he's just going to be absolutely devastating. And so as a player, you need to learn. We've got more and more of these 2 AP. Obviously, models like Cavato with Mind Control can make Kedt throw the rock out of his activation, which is a 3rd time he can do it in an entire round. It's really, you have to lock these kind of models down. And he's definitely killable. We've done a bunch of play testing with Kedt. He can be dropped, right? He can be dropped, particularly level 1 at 16 health. But he's good. He's got a lot of good synergies, and can't wait to see. Now, I remember 5 years ago with designing Judgement, and we were up to about 20 heroes, and I couldn't wait to get to where we are today. Today we're nudging 55 or so heroes. There's so much depth and little nuances that you can have between models, which is really what we want. So when you're going to a tournament or going to a games day and you want to prepare, you can really, there's enough heroes now to get your own, secret tech going, your own meta going. You can surprise people. Kett's definitely one of those. There's a lot of synergy with him, a lot of heroes, and we'll get to more as next levels. But yes, that's pretty cool. All right, just going to go to the next card. So he's level 2 and 3. Now these are both innate abilities, which is very AP efficient when you see a model that just gets abilities pretty much for free. So at level 2, he's got Rock on. His rock gains armor piercing, which is another big thing, which is super strong. Now remember, his rock blast doesn't gain armor piercing, but if you're armor piercing the first model, it's going to do more damage to them, which then makes the blast better because it's half that more damage. But also the rock blast cost is dropped from 1S plus 1J to just 2S. This really changes the odds a lot. If this guy has got a Heart Seeker and he's aiming and he's RNG 9, he's throwing this rock, Remember elves, he gets +1 against elves, so they're AG4. He's throwing 5 dice at elves in that instance for this. For a 2S, knock them down, it's pretty good, like really strong. I say elves, I also goblins. Oh no, sorry, well, it's just elves. Sorry. He's got enmity elves. So now, command nature. This is where a lot of synergies start to come into play. So at level 3, depending on what terrain he's sitting in, he gets an additional condition applied in addition to knockdown from his rock blast. Remember, his rock blast is already now 2S. And so if he's in forest, on a monster pit, in treacherous, in rough, smoke, or on a soul pit, they're the abilities he gets that are on the screen. Now, remember, so I haven't talked about this, but he's Gruul and Bruellen. So just touching on Gruul. In Gruul, while he's in terrain, he's going to heal 1 when he activates. He's harder to push out of the terrain. Gendris can make terrain for him. Carver can give him Chameleon. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that can synergize when he's in Gruul, just by the fact he's also going to get 3 temporary health for that turn. But with Gendris can drop the forest on him before he activates, which means then he's pinning and knocking down people when he throws his rock. It's super strong. Now with Bruellen, he has got a crit 5 on his fist. So he's only Mel 6. With the Bruellen EP, he goes to Mel 7, he gets a free reroll, and he's going to crit for 7 with the +2 damage. So he's very good synergies with both. Super pumped about Kedt. As I said, that's his card. It's pretty straightforward. It's what you see on the tin. It's all about throwing his rock. His level 2 and level 3 are completely about throwing his rock. So if you're not throwing his rock, he's not having a good day. He wants to throw it twice. So your job as a Kedt player is to get him in that position so he can do that, right? He's not a defender, so Shan can pull him out of trouble with Get Behind Me. You got to think of all these synergies that you can have with him. You can actually have him bulwarked. You can have him Lug Drugs Ward to keep him alive. You just want to, if you're going to take this guy, a lot of your play is going to be around getting him, getting him the Heartseeker, getting him in a position where he can actually throw his rock twice each turn. As I said earlier, this is not going to test realm Kedt. He's fully available. This is the 5th Goblin/Troll we've got available, but the tribe rules are out next month. So the next 2 months, we've got Jail, a mage, Goblin Mage dropping with the full Goblin rules. That next month's show is going to be a bumper show where I go through the whole Goblin tribe. That's going to hit like a ton of bricks. It's an amazing tribe. We've done heaps of testing for it. We're super pumped the way that we've got it to really capture what the Goblins are about, coupled with the Trolls. There's a lot of synergies in those, in the tribe powers for Trolls as well as Goblins. And then in the month after, we've got Takar, the last Troll. That means Goblins are going to have 7 heroes, because now we split Bale and Sana in last month's show. We're now going to have 7 heroes available for Goblin Tribe at the end of the next 2 months, which we can't wait for. So as I said, it's not test realm. Kedt is available right now. He's available for use. He's for sale on both the Australia and New Zealand store, which is playjudgement.com.au, as well as the creaturecaster.com stores for NA and EU. You can buy him today. He's ready to ship. I've got him with me right now, as you can see, and I've got the whole stock here ready to go. Thanks for tuning in. I'd love to hear what you think about Kedt. I can't wait to see the meta shift with now Kedt being available in the game. Straight after this, I'm going to push his rules out to halloveternalchampions.com. On there, you'll see his full rules, his card. You can add him to your warbands, and you can add him to your battles. The Vassal module is going to be updated straight away as well today, and so will the TTS module. And speaking of that, we've got 2 TTS modules now, so it's great. I think the Carhos is working with the new guys about that. It's super excited to get the TTS module into an amazing place as well. So lots of ways to play Judgement, and of course playing it in person is the best way to do it at all. I'll keep doing a lot of work on the Hall of Eternal Champions app. The mobile version that's coming next, can't wait for that. And we are going to try to do an offline mode for that as well. We'll see how we go. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments or on Discord. Can't wait to hear your thoughts and see Kedt in action. Peace.